Peace, Soul Tribe. Yours truly, Irish Soul's Journey. Tarot, Grand Rising, great day. Osiyo, good morning. Bonjour. Hopefully, everybody had a wonderful weekend. You feeling good? You feeling rested? Ready to get this new week started? Hopefully, everybody had a good one too. We'll give a couple minutes before begin our early rise. This for the early risers. This for the ones who have to get up early in the morning, or those that don't have to get up. You just wake up early in the morning. So we'll see who's up. I feel good. I feel great. Not only I feel good and I feel great, I feel inspired. And that's what this here early rise Soul's Journey's message is going to be about. What inspires you? There's always something that inspires us. That word within itself is very powerful. So we're going to have a conversation about what inspires you. Hit the like button as you're coming into the live stream. Also, if you can drop a comment, it don't matter who it is, but drop a comment and let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. I want to make sure that I'm able to be heard. Because if you can't be heard, why say anything? So we have 5 in the chat. Who gonna have the courage and the guts to simply say, Ivory, I can hear you loud and clear. Jess Leahy. Jess, let me write you down right quick here for a reason. Because I had something to ship out to you, Jess. I got your email, but I don't know what happened. So I got something I got to ship to you. If you can, Jess, I just wrote it down on my little notepad. Send me the shipping information so that I can send this here out to you this week. All right. What inspires you? I tell you what, I'm going to give my take on it, but let's see what, hold on. Let's see what the old dictionary gonna say here. Good morning, everybody. Grand Rising, Osiyo. Inspires or inspiration. Inspiration means something that makes you feel hopeful and encouraged. For example, you might describe a talk on overcoming obstacles as inspiration. Include impressive, exciting, motivational, emotional are just some of the few words that describes inspiration. What inspires you? For me, knowing that everything is energy, everything, nothing on this planet exists without it being energy. So for me, inspiration is an emotional energy that encourages you and gives you hope within a situation, whatever that situation is. You can inspire people. Okay, let me give y'all a example of inspiration or what inspires me. Years ago, when I was the founding director of a homeless shelter for battered women and children, there was this one lady. She had 2 kids. And I get this call from the Memphis and Shelby County Coalition for the Homeless. And then I get another call from the Urban League about this here woman and these 2 kids that needed somewhere to go. So I don't know if it was a friend or one of the workers at the shelter or if it was my brother-in-law at the time. But we hopped in my vehicle. I had an address I had wrote down. It wasn't no social media then or anything like that. So all I did was I got the phone call, I got the person's name, and I got the location where it was at. And, at that time, that day, prior to that phone call, I was really thinking about giving it up as far as the shelter, the whole 9 yards. I just felt like giving it up. So I'm driving. We get to the location and I'm looking at the address. And then, you pull up, there's no GPS or anything like that. So I'm pulling up and I'm noticing that, wait a minute, these commercial buildings. And so it's early in the morning. And so I'm looking at it, I'm like, ain't nobody open. So I get on the phone and I says, look, I'm here at the location to pick up this lady and these 2 kids. I said, but the address y'all gave me must be the wrong address. And they said, well, repeat the address. So I repeated the address back. And when I repeated the address, they said, yeah, that's the right address. And so they said, well, just pull in there and blow your horn. I pulled into that parking lot and I blew the horn. And then it's like, there's this building here and there's this building here. And then there's a little walkway that goes down beside these 2 buildings. So I blew the horn. And then here comes a couple minutes later, this lady and these 2 kids walking from behind the little walkway between these 2 buildings. And I'm saying to myself, man, my God, shit, is this a setup or what's going on here? So I get out of the car and I says, hi, and I hold up the piece of paper. Are you so-and-so? And this lady was crying. And she said, yeah, but with when you're crying with a shaky voice. I said, are these your kids? She says, yes. I says, okay. So where are y'all coming from? I'm supposed to be, I thought I was picking you up from a place of residence. She said, well, this is where we've been sleeping. And it was a tire repair shop. They were on the inside. This is sad though. They were on the inside. And the owner of the building To make a long story short, had made a deal with this lady and these two kids that they could stay there inside the shop, but she had to perform sexual activities. So the past 2 nights, she decided that she didn't want to do that no more. So they decided to sleep outside behind the garbage can on a mattress. I didn't know all of this here until we got back to the center and I was doing the little intake session where, as a counselor, I was a crisis counselor as well. And so that's when I found out about it. I was so fucking mad that I wanted to go by that shop, that tire repair shop, and whoop this guy's ass. Of course I didn't. So when I got through hearing her story, and of course, I had someone to come and, get the two kids and take them away so I could talk to the mother. And when she got through telling me her story on how she ended up at that tire shop, I said, you know what, God? I ain't gonna never complain no more. And since that day, I have really never complained about nothing. Nothing. And I told her, I said, well, from that day forward, I says, well, look, I'm your brother now. I'm not the director of this here shelter. I'm your brother. After she left out of the office, and I sat there in my chair, and I just began to just thank Spirit for just existing compared to what she had been through. That inspired me. I started doing more radio interviews, television interviews. I got more involved in the grassroots of homelessness. I wanted to know everything about it. That one story, that one woman gave me inspiration for many, many years. The fact that I'm talking about it today, it had to have even come to a thought in my mind, a reflection. From the pulpit to that homeless shelter to every aspects of my life, from time to time, if I got in a hard spot, if you will, I thought about that lady's story. I said that to say this here, Soul Tribe. Ask the question, what inspires you? What inspires you? It's always going to be something to inspire us. And there was times, number one, again, I don't even like social media. I've never, ever liked social media. Not because what some would classify as old school, but as a seer, a visionary, I knew there was going to be a lot of issues with social media. I saw it when it first started rolling out. before you had your Facebooks and all of this stuff. And so when I started doing what I'm doing now, this channel, I had left, I didn't leave. I got booted off of Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube back in 2017. And I said I wasn't going to go back. I was like, good, damn, fuck it. I'm good. I never liked social media. Y'all ain't heard me. And it was because of what I was teaching and what I was saying. And then I started, after about 2 or 3 days, I didn't say shit on social media. I didn't say shit. After all that I had in a short time span accomplished, to whereas there was nearly 100,000 followers. And then they took it all away and then, had to start back over. So I started over the current Facebook page that I have now. And instead of 5,000 friends and tens of thousands followers or what have you, I started it back up in 2021. Yeah, 2021 at 0. I says, I'm not interested in a whole bunch of followers and friends. But the reason why I came back, I started getting these inboxes of people telling me, you had said something, Ivory, in a video a while back. And to this very day, it stuck with me. It inspired me. And they started coming. So with this channel, I didn't even go last night to do the video on my original channel that they blocked and banned me from sharing content, what they call content. I was telling true stories. I was delivering messages. So started this channel, and the only way that they would allow me to bring any kind of content is when I jumped back and I was browsing, doing a little research and checking on a couple of people that I knew back in New York and in DC. And on YouTube. And then boom, it popped up on the screen. There was a tarot reader. And I was like, because when you, with this AI thing, things that you go to, searches that you go to, eventually AI recognizes what your type of information or what have you that interests you, and you start seeing various different types of videos or what have you that'll pop up, channels or what have you. But I'm like, tarot. And I saw the channel and I says, are you serious? So they let people do tarot live or on YouTube? Because the reason why it kind of shocked me was because it was once deemed as and labeled as evil. So I click on and I was listening to the lady. And I'm like, so they letting people do this now? And I've always had a tarot deck. I misplaced a couple of them over the years, all the way back to when it was, I call it Sister Cleo days. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching and I'm listening to the lady doing the reading. And I'm like, wow, that is so good. So then I'm like, I go back to my YouTube channel. I still can't do shit. So I says, okay, I'll start another one. And I started this one. And then I was telling my dad what I was getting ready to do. And he said, man, you don't think they're going to have a problem with it? And so I says, Dad, I said, well, I'm just going to tell stories and deliver messages. I don't really need the cards. It's just that, they ain't going to let me talk about what I know. No, they ain't going to let you talk about it. They already banned your ass from Facebook. I said, yeah, I know. He said, well, shit, he said, you don't think they going to do the same damn thing with YouTube? I said, they banned me too. He said, oh, shit, man, you need to leave that shit alone then. I says, okay, then. I says, okay, hold on. So I pulled out, where is it? My OG deck. One that I had for years. It's real loose now. I pulled out my OG deck and my dad was sitting beside me in this same chair that I'm sitting in now. He had rolled and scooped the chair over, right? And so I says, Dad, if I don't know, but I kind of know something. He said, what's that, man? I said, I'm going to see if I can tell what's on your mind with these cards. He said, man, you can tell me what's on my mind with a goddamn deck of cards. We going to get rich. I said, okay. So I got the cards out and I shuffled and did my thing. And I just said, Spirit, what's on my dad's mind right now? What do you think? And I pulled out the cards and I flipped them. And so I had never did no reading on nobody. Pops was the first. So I looked at the card and I didn't pay attention to whatever they say the meaning is. I'm going somewhere with this. And I looked at the card and it was only 3 cards. And I said, Dad, what you worried about? He said, what do you mean? I said, are you worried about anything? He said, well, I ain't just really worried. He said, but he said, it's a shame that I got all of this family. Children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, nieces, nephews. He said, I'm old man now and I don't hear from nobody. His third card, I ain't gonna tell you what his middle card was. His last card, his third card was the sun. I said, well, Dad, whatever you worried about, man, one day you ain't gonna be worried because this card right here, Dad, and I held it up and showed him. I said, this is the sun card. So one day you're gonna be happy. At the end of the day, you're gonna be happy. The last minutes in the ICU room with my dad, he was smiling. He couldn't talk. So we telepathically communicated. But after that day, when I did the little spread, he says, man, you're going to help a lot of people. Fast forward. I said, you know what? I started noticing that there were people coming to the channel early on that was really dark. I wasn't afraid of them. I knew how to handle the energy, but they were really dark people. And I said, well, This is not what I came here for. This is not what I came here for. I said, well, let me leave this here alone. There's a lot more that I could be doing to help people than to have to deal with these dark ass people. I got an email. It wasn't even 50 subscribers on this channel. Somebody emailed me. I wasn't even doing readings then. And I got this email. And the email says, "Hi, Ivory. My name is so and so and so. I am really going through some hard times right now. In fact, a very dark period in my life. I just need somebody to talk to. I don't need no reading." She says, and when I was listening to you talk, she says, you seem like a brother. You seem like somebody that I could just talk to. And I replied to the email. And she replied back and she says, how much do you charge? I said, I don't have a charge. You said you need somebody to talk to. We exchanged phone numbers. She sent me her phone number and I called her. Told her who I was. This lady re-inspired me. Like the lady at the shelter. Like the lady at the auto repair shop, the tire shop. This lady said, I'm calling you from the trunk of a car. She said, I got a wire that I tied down so nobody will know I'm in here when I'm in here. She said, I just don't want to live no more. So the first thing came to my mind was to tell her to get out of the truck and talk to me. And then this little keen little voice, and I know what it was. It was intuition. So don't tell her to get out of the truck. She had been beaten by a baby daddy, left for dead in the trunk of a car. When I got through counseling with this woman, she unwired and got out of the car. She says, Ivory, I'm going to tell you something. She still follows the channel. She said, I ain't never seen the sun look so bright. The same car that my dad got, his last car. The lady from the shelter is a registered nurse now. So I wanted to leave this channel because of the dark energy until I got that email. A month later, someone sent me cash out. $200. I didn't know who it was. It was that lady from this channel watching YouTube in the trunk of a car and saw me and heard me talking in a video that was entitled Tales from the Dark Side. She sent $200. Doing damn good now. Buying a home. Children straight. Yesterday, I don't know what happened other than eight portal energy and new moon energy. And I was live yesterday morning. And I was answering questions. And I had already had, I think, one or two clients scheduled for yesterday. After that video, 3 more people contacted and wanted reading. And let me tell y'all something. You never, ever, ever know in your walk of life who you are inspiring and for what reason. And I ended up doing a session with a client yesterday. And she said, I don't need no cards. I don't need a reading. I don't have any questions. I just need somebody to talk to. I says, okay. So I'm listening, just like any other counselor is supposed to do. Been doing it 32 years. No problem. I'm going to listen. I'm not going to be judgmental. None of that. I'm going to listen. And let me tell y'all, folks, I don't ever want to hear nobody talk to me in a negative way, in comments or in person, about tarot readers that are out here putting their spiritual energy on the line. It's draining, folks. Because when I got through hearing this lady talk, if I was low vibrational, weak, opportunist, anything negative, sometimes people want to take advantage of people in their moments when they're at the lowest, what they feel like the lowest moments, lowest periods of their life. So I could have blew it off. But she only sent $39. I can tell you that. There's a reason. I ended up counseling with this lady. She couldn't stop crying. And yes, she had children. I ended up talking to this here lady, counseling with this lady from the channel. Never comments, just watch. For over a year. And for 3 hours, counseling with this lady. To the point to where she said 2 or 3 times, Ivory, I know I need to let you go. I know you got a lot you have to do. I know that you got things you got to do. And I know I probably owe you more than $39. I said, sister, no, you don't. This is part of my mission, my purpose. I've been doing this for a long time. You've inspired me. The other day, I got all these videos upcoming. I got these things that I want to share and so on and so forth. And I keep getting, hacked, stalked, negative energy. So I said again, 2 days ago, 2. Man, I'm done with this channel. I'm going to go back to the original channel and I'll start that up from scratch. But I'm done with this here tarot channel. And then I get that call from her yesterday, that email from her yesterday. And it inspired me because she was saying things like, Ivory, you may not even know that at my lowest point, my suicidal mindset, I wanted to be out of here. She said, but I would listen. She said, I didn't care what zodiac you was talking about. I don't care none. She says, I just wanted to hear you because every time I would listen to you, you would inspire me. And I didn't know. I come here and do what I do, sometimes laugh. And she says, you would make me laugh in the midst of a suicidal mindset. When I got off the phone with her, I went to my room. Spirit said, lay down. I want to show you something. So I knew it was going to be a real intense dream. Anytime Spirit tells me, look, lay down, I want to show you something. I can tell you part of it. I don't want to share it all because I'm going to do something with it. This lady in the dream, this lady yesterday, a brother from this channel laid up in the bed in his hospital bed watching me, supposed to be dying. And then a lady at the shelter was all in the dream. And they were out front in like an auditorium setting. And they said, and they was up speaking about me. And it was so inspirational because all three of them had an experience in their own way with the conversation of death. And just hearing me say things and in the midst of a crisis, all three of them, my goal is to get them to lighten up and look at the lighter side of life. One of my favorite cards in the Soul's Journeys deck. So they was up talking in the dream and saying how this man made me laugh so hard in one of his videos that I had to run to the bathroom. I said this all to say this here. What inspires y'all? Because there is some people, I've done a few hundred readings since that first one. And Spirit had to let me know it's not about the cards. It's not even about the channel. It's like it was personal. It was like Spirit is saying, like, Ivory, it's really about you as far as all these years you've been helping people. You've been helping people. You've been making people smile. From the crack house to the pulpit to social media, making people smile. In moments when there's nothing they feel like worth smiling about. So why would you want to leave your channel? Spirit said, I don't want you to ever look at tarot as just cards. I want you to look at tarot, Ivory, as delivering a message, telling a story, making people smile. If you look at it from those three perspectives, you're going to always inspire one person each video. Because this lady, some of us in certain situations will fold, will give up. And this lady was so knowledgeable about statistics when it comes to how many people today, in our day and time, that has attempted or has successfully taken their life. I didn't know because I had been following it. The statistical data that's out there of how many people are so depressed. I knew depression kills, but how many more people today that don't want to live for whatever reasons? And for the ones that go to social media, they're looking for help. And they stumble across channels like mine, and it inspires them. So for me, it's more like delivering a message to one person, regardless of how many people in the line. I'm talking to one person. Because there's this brother on this channel, and every month, out of nowhere, supports the channel. So, in a big way. And every time, and a couple of times I asked him, I says, listen, brother, why is you sending money like this? He says, man, let me tell you why. He says, first, I like you. And that's a lot coming from me. He says, second, you inspire me. He said, and third, I was in a motorcycle crash. And I was laying up in ICU. I had just come out of a coma. And for the first time I had got my phone. He said, and I went on my phone, checked some messages, and then he said, I hopped on YouTube. He says, and I wasn't looking for anything or anybody in particular. He says, I was just glad to be back on YouTube, on social media. And I saw you. He says, and you was talking directly to me in my situation. That brother, the first time, if I'm not mistaken, I got a cash app from him. It was $300. 2 days later, it was $200. That's when I emailed the brother. I said, brother, why are you sending me? And that's when he told me what he told me. And I said, you know what? I says, I hope, and I said it just like this. I says, I hope there's no dark attachments to this money or you going to go broke. And I told him just like that. He said, King, no. Man, I was on my deathbed. Broken up. I don't know how many bones he told me he broke and fractured. He said, I laid there, man, and I listened to you, and I went to some of your other videos. He says, man, look, And that was November. The channel started in September, coming up on 2 years next month, November. He had the accident in October, November. From November then, well, we're in August until last month, the brother generously, with no nothing. I be trying to give him shit. I done sent that brother all kind of shit. And he say, man, you the truth. You the truth. He says, I don't give a damn what nobody say, you the truth. Because you've inspired me so many times. What inspires y'all? Because at the end of the day, there are people out here that are going through far worse situations. Far worse situations. Suicidal. Don't want to live no more because of the cares of this world. When I was figuring out what I was going to title the channel, went through a few names. And again, Spirit says, why don't you use your book title? One of my books. And I says, and the book is entitled Ivory Soul's Journey. And I'm just talking about my journey in this here lifetime. In every aspect, different people that I've crossed paths with, including some of the people I'm talking about now. And that's where the title of the channel comes from. Because at the end of the day, folks, we're on a soul's journey. But once you know how to connect your life's purpose with your soul's journey, because the soul knows the journey. The soul knows the journey. And once you can tap into that, everything, it's like the soul from a standpoint of its life. It's everything that you are, your essence. And once the soul starts sharing things with you about you and your life purpose, it's a lot of gifts, foresight, visions. You see things that you ain't go no school to learn. You ain't learn through life experiences. You just see things. The soul will introduce you to ancient guides, spirit guides, ancient ancestors, terrestrial ancestors. The soul will introduce you to past life experiences so that you'll know what your purpose is in this lifetime based on past life experiences. The soul will introduce and show and reveal to you certain individuals that was catalyst to either your spiritual awakening or revelations that reminds you of past life. Now, if you don't know nothing about past life, then you can't explain it. Why this happened? Why I meet this person? Why is this going on in my life? The soul will tell you why. It was until I got one of the last, most recent episodes of the soul's journey was the last 3 months of my dad's human experience before he transitioned. He would tell me things that he see. But then he would tell me, Seal, it wasn't. He said, I wasn't here. It's not nobody I know here. I said, Dad, it's from a past life. And he would say, man, you sure right. I said, what else do you see? And my dad would tell me things because he was going through a life review. And all of his experiences, from previous lifetimes, he experienced them last few months of being here this lifetime. But this was the first time that I was able to be around somebody to actually witness it with my own 2 eyes, hear it with my own 2 ears. He would wake up and I would be sitting there sometimes and he would be talking and then he'd say, man, it's so bright. It's so bright outside. And then I would look out the window. It's raining and it's cloudy. I said, where is it bright outside, Daddy? He said, man, it's just bright. You don't see it? I said, well, it's raining outside. He said, well, man, it must be somewhere else. He said, all them folks outside, man, I see all them folks outside. He wasn't even seeing this present reality. And to see him speaking from events and episodes that his soul was revealing to him, that shit was inspiring. And ever since then, he was in the hospital. And I got that last ancestor feather just plainly laying on some green manicured grass behind my car in a parking lot at the hospital. And that was the last day. I'm going to the back to get something out of the trunk. And there go that feather. Spirits say, get that feather and pick it up. And I'm familiar with feathers. So I get the feather and I pick it up. Spirit said, put it between both of your hands and rub it. I have a message for you. So I put it between my hand and I rubbed it. He said, these are your dad's last hours. That was about 2:30. He says, when you go up here, he says, I want you to talk about the journey with him. You're not going to hear him talk. He can't talk. But you'll hear him talk. So I get up to the room Again, it's about 2 something. And so he's laying there. I got pictures. And he's laying there. Just like y'all can hear me clearly. I can hear him clearly talking to me. So I'm standing there at his bedside. And he's talking to me. I'm talking to him. We ain't opening our mouths. Having a full father-son conversation. He said, man, it is so beautiful. He started reminding me of things that I've said. He started talking about things that he has never, ever talked about. The doctor come into the room and said, everything okay, Mr. Ivory? I said, yeah. He says, well, it could be any moment now. That was 2 something. The last conversation we had before I actually seen his essence leave his body. The last conversation we had, he was like, man, look, you got this. Don't be like Pops. This is what I want you to do, man. And I'm going to be there with you. He said, man, anybody you can help them. Anybody you can help them. And I'm going to make sure you help them. He had a tear come down his right cheek. And then he smiled. And all the machines just started doing this. That was at 7:11 p.m. We had about a 4-5 hour conversation. Whatever inspires you, whoever inspires you, don't take it for granted. Sometimes inspiration will come when you least expect it. And it'll come in a way that is something, in this case, these 4 individuals that I just talked about. It will come in a way that is so devastating to hear. But at the same time, it inspires you. To sit here and talk to this lady yesterday that was suicidal. And the day before that, I was like, man, I'm tired of dealing with these dark ass energies, YouTube and other whoever come on here, that I pick up on their energy. I said, man, I'm done with this shit. There's a whole lot more in life that I could be doing than to be sitting on here battling with these here dark ass damn people. Then you have that conversation with somebody that you've inspired in the darkest phase of their life. And be like, damn, I ain't got no motherfucking problems. I ain't got one care in this world. This lady don't even want to live. And I'm complaining about some dark ass pieces of shit that I ain't even got to see or deal with. And she's dealing with so much shit that she don't even want to live. see here. What inspires you? That's the question. What inspires you? Because whatever, you could be at the lowest point of your life. And if you can go back and grab something, it'll inspire you, it'll lift you up, it'll give you the courage to say, you know what? My problem is nowhere near like somebody else's problem. Let me get my ass up here. Let me go on and keep on going because somebody else don't want to go no more. They don't want to live no more. And here I am, healthy, able, knowledgeable enough, not a lot, that you can help somebody, that you can inspire somebody. You can be the reason why somebody sees the sun and it's cloudy outside in their life. But they see the sun through what you are seeing, what you are doing, or what you're saying. Just your life can inspire people. So she says, Ivory, you know what you should do? I said, what, sister? She said, you need to start doing things publicly and allow people to have somewhere where they can come and talk. Because she said, there's millions out here like me. We just felt like checking out, but we also feel like I'm just going to share my story one more time. Or I'm going to say what I got to say one more time, and I'm out of here. So, let me tell you something. I have seen people so devastated, men and women. And I think some of it comes from courage and inspiration. Some of it comes from my street days back home in Michigan, when you would have when you see friends get their brains blowed out in the streets, when you see friends stabbed to death, when you see friends now death row doing life. What are they thinking? What was their last thoughts? And I still remember my brother, homie, Phil King, where close range shotgun to the midsection and his little brother and little sister on the side in the middle of broad daylight. Somebody he knew just walked up to him and whatever beef it was, blowing his midsection out, and all I could think is, wow, it could have been me. So I told that sister, you know what? I'm gonna take you up on that. She says, when I hear you talk about you used to be a pastor and all these other things, she says, I be saying to myself, I wish I had the money to go and find somewhere so Ivy can get up And in her words, rock the crowd. And so I says, you know what? I'm gonna think about that. So I says, yesterday I come on live and I said I want to talk to all of the moderators because the lady was like, and she's been following me over a year. She says, remember last year when you was saying that um you was gonna do the tarot at the park and the soul tribe, family could meet and so on and so forth. I said, yeah. She says, you really need to do that. She said, because I know I'm not the only one that watch you, that you done say is something that have made their day. She said, and for us to just get together and be at the park or what have you, just hanging out with family and each other, whoever, she said that might really inspire a lot of people and just go for it. So I says, okay, then I'm going to get with the moderators. I'm going to get with my moderators. I'm going to let them come up with something before this year is out, because we headed straight for crises. And it's good to know that there's people in your area, in your city, even in your neighborhood that you may not even know, that in these crises coming up, you can get together with. And what, if nothing else, inspire each other, right? I says, I'm going to do that. I appreciate that. And I'm going to let people know who it came from. Serious. And like I said, after that session with that sister, not a client, after the session with that, I have clients that I meet with now. We may end up talking 30, 40 minutes before I even pull out a card. And they be like, it ain't even about the card. And they want to talk. People going through a lot of shit and they just need to get it out of them. And that's what it's all about. What's going on, everybody? Caleb. What's up, Kiki, Courtney, Sheree, Danique, Mimi? What's up, Lynette? Mimi, Danielle. Look at y'all. Shamika, Jess. We're headed for some times that you're going to need to be around people that uplift you and inspire you, because things is going to get far worse, but it's going to get better. But for those of us who have prepared ourselves for these moments, we're going to be the strengths. We're going to be the ones that help pull others through, because it's going to be a lot of folks, they ain't going to know what the fuck to do. Because when they take that dollar off the market, for example, and you haven't prepared to survive without money, what you gonna do? When you can't buy no food, you ain't got no crypto, you ain't got no Bitcoins, you ain't got none of that, and your money in the bank ain't worth nothing but paper. A third of this country is gonna suffer. 1/3, 100 million people gonna suffer when that transition takes place. I promise you. I didn't say die, I said suffer. You're going to see more evictions. How you going to pay? You're going to see more people, homeowners, landlords, selling their property so they can get what? whatever the new going thing is, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, whatever it is. Because the money ain't going to be worth shit. You're going to have more people homeless. And that's where people like you and I come in at, because we're prepared for it. And why? That star energy in that 11th house with that Pluto for the next 20 years, a lot of y'all going to become humanitarian, helping people. Helping people to survive. Helping people make it through a day. Counselors. Talking to people. Suicide just going to run rampant. People ain't going to want to live no more. People starving. People with major health issues, elderly, mentally ill people just totally left to just transition. That's where we're headed. And for those of us who see it, what inspires me is I go back and I look at the years of helping the homeless and people in jails, prisons, hospitals, nursing homes, on the streets. It's a damn. So Spirit allowed me to stick around for this time. Spirit allowed y'all to stick around for this time that we're in and that we're headed to. I wouldn't be surprised before the elections that the whole planet is engulfed in some kind of a war, because it's big money. And the planet is going through a transitional phase, a shift, a restart, a reset. So the bombs got to fall. They're falling right now. For those that have been here long enough, in my closing, remember I did that video and I shared with y'all last year. Early part of last year. The war drums are beating. They're beating. And they're getting louder and louder and louder. And every week, it's going to be breaking news. What inspires you? That's what you need to start thinking about. What inspires you? We'll see y'all in the next video. Peace and blessing. Ashe.